USC takes their 2-0 record on the road to Ann Arbor, where we'll see the 11th ranked Trojans take on the number 18 Wolverines of Michigan. What was universally accepted as the most difficult game on SC's schedule before the season has become much more manageable than we first thought. As we make our Big Ten debut, as we see Miller Moss start his first true road game, there's a beautiful opportunity here to make a statement and let the world know that we're for real and we're not going away anytime soon. It's USC, it's Michigan, Big Ten debut, game preview number 3, let's go. What's up, guys? My name is Gabe and welcome back to the Trojan Blade. Welcome back to a brand new video. We've got a big one this week. This is an elite uniform matchup, elite brands, blue blood against blue blood. I've seen this matchup twice in my lifetime. I was born in '98, so the '04 Rose Bowl is one of my first football memories, and then the '07 Rose Bowl with Booty slinging the ball around was a great one as well. There's just so many storylines in this one, making our debut as a Big Ten team, 12:30 kick on CBS. Cannot wait for this one to get underway, but before we do get into it, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are inching closer and closer to 10,000 subs here on the channel, so thank you all so much for being here today. Let's get into it. All right, so as always, let's meet the Michigan Wolverines. We start with the head coach, Sharon Moore. Not a fan of this guy at all, really. Last year, after Harbaugh was suspended for the whole sign stealing scandal, Sharon proceeded to cry and act like a victim after they beat Penn State. I've said for a while now that Michigan is a cult, and that's the main reason for it. And so far, to be honest, he's looked a bit in over his head. The team has lost a bunch of talent in the offseason, but the failure to attack the portal this year really has their fans fuming. The head coaching advantage should heavily be in the favor of SC this weekend. Now, offensively for Michigan, they actually made a QB change for this week, so we need to throw out almost everything we've seen on tape from Davis Warren. Alex Orji will get the start, and he is a polar opposite kind of skill set from Warren. Orji is a running back playing quarterback. Plain and simple. You go back and watch Orji in this Michigan offense and he just can't throw it at an FBS level. The accuracy is abysmal. He's truly a one-dimensional player. Now this stat is wild. Thank you to Big Ten Ted for pointing this out to me. In high school, not college guys, high school, he completed 52% of his passes. 52% in high school. This dude can't throw it. This offense is going to be running a ton of QB power, Q counter, zone read, triple option RPOs, Q dive. I don't know what they could do with Orji as the quarterback that we couldn't prepare for. Maybe they're pulling a fast one and Jack Tuttle is healthy, the experienced third stringer, and he'll play in this one. But Sharon Moore announcing Orji as the starter as early in the week as he did is, in my opinion, stupid. It's a dumb move. You're giving Danton Lynn an entire week to prepare for a one-dimensional quarterback. Of course, we were going to prepare for him anyway, but now knowing this is pretty much going to be the entire game plan, no idea why he'd announce it so early. And look, this is the simplest game plan we're going to have all year. I fully expect the hybrid 4-3 with EMA, Cobb, and Gentry out there on the field together to be our base defense. We have to be gap and assignment sound, take away the run or at least limit it, get a lead and force them into throwing situations, and the game will be won. Based on what I just said, it really feels like we're about to play Air Force or Navy or something like that. Crazy situation that Michigan has themselves in. But speaking of the run game, Donovan Edwards is the back that gets most of the attention because of that big performance he had in Columbus a couple years ago. But overall, I happen to think he's grossly overrated. Now, Khalil Mullings is a different story. He has taken over the RB1 role for this team, and this dude is a stud. Really big fan of his game. Last week against Arkansas State, he had 15 carries for 153 yards and 2 scores. 6'2", 233. This dude's an athletic bruiser, and SC's linebackers are going to have to strap up before every single snap because we're going to be seeing a lot of this dude, at least early on in the game. Now, at the time of recording, we don't actually have a definitive answer on if Colston Loveland is playing or not. I'm going to assume he is, and when healthy, for me, this is the best tight end in the country. When you mix the blocking with the ability to catch the football, it's an elite package that gives everybody trouble. And when you have a QB that can't throw the ball more than 5 yards down the field, what better security blanket is there than an All-American level tight end? But whether it's Colston Loveland or Marlon Klein, SC has to key in on the tight ends and take that option away. Now, offensive line-wise, this is a unit that got right, at least in the run game against Arkansas State. Almost rushing for 300 yards, and obviously doing that against Arkansas State is a lot different than doing it against USC, especially when we've had a week to prepare for it and you look to be completely one-dimensional. But still, while this O-line has regressed in a big way from last year, they're still very large humans. They get after it in the run game. If our front isn't up to the challenge here, we could lose this game. Now, I personally expect Lynn, Henne, and Nua to have the boys ready to go up front, And again, like I talked about earlier, scheme-wise for us, I do expect the 4-3 to be our base with EMA, Gentry, and Cobb. And I do expect to see a lot of 5-man fronts. When Lynn deploys those fronts, we've stopped the run, at least up to this point in the season. Load the box, do not allocate any extra resources to defending the pass. If they hit you downfield, tip your cap and adjust. We will not be worried about the throw game until they give us a reason to be. Now overall, unless Michigan does something no one is expecting, think of it like we're preparing to play a service academy. Assignment sound, gap sound, penetration. Those are the keys to winning this one. Crazy to say that out loud about the defending national champs, but that's where we are with them. Now defensively, this is a man and scheme I know well. As a Browns fan, I have seen Wink Martindale terrorize us for the last few years. He's now the DC at Michigan, and man, I'll be honest, I'm very surprised from some of the calls he's put on tape. You watch the Texas game and it's 3rd and short, and he's sitting off in a very conservative zone call. Then it's 3rd and 13, and he sends a 6-man blitz that's very slow developing. Just some very strange calls. But look, if there's one thing we know about Wink, it's that he's not going to change what he does. He's very hard-headed. We know what to expect from him. Blitz, blitz, blitz. Whether it's actual blitzes, simulated pressures, he's going to be very aggressive and ask his corners to hold up in coverage. Now there are some zone blitzes in this defense, but more often than not, those guys will be manned up. And one of the guys who will be in coverage is one of the best corners in the country in Will Johnson. If I'm Lincoln Riley and Miller Moss, my game plan is simply to throw the ball to wherever Will Johnson isn't. The drop off from him to the other corners on the field is incredible. Remember the 2022 USC defensive line that we had? We had Tooley and then just everybody else. It's like that here. Don't throw to Will's side and you'll have success. Target the other guys. But of course, the biggest matchup in this entire game is the Michigan D-line against our O-line. You know the names: Mason Graham, Josiah Stewart, Kenneth Grant. These guys are dogs. They cause problems for most teams that they go up against. I don't expect to see us running up the middle very much in this game, at least not in the first half. To put it plainly, it would be foolish to run at these guys on the line. We need to utilize the RPO game heavily and get our speed out on the perimeter. They can't keep up with us athlete for athlete. Let's use that to our advantage and get those big boys running. If they're tired and on the sideline drinking Gatorade in the mid-3rd quarter, we could blow this thing open. But overall, with Lincoln having 2 weeks to game plan against a predictable defense, I think we have a big advantage here, assuming that the O-line can do a decent enough job keeping Miller upright. Now, having said all that, let's go over to G's keys. Now, normally I have 3 for each side. In this game, it's so simple. I just have 1 for each. On offense, it's run the ball. If we can run the ball on this Michigan front, the game is won in my opinion. Now, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to. I think that the throw game is going to be the big key for us. But if we can run the ball successfully, get into 2nd and 4, 3rd and 2, I think we're going to have a massive amount of success in this game, and I think that sets us up to win. And for the defense, it is plain and simple, man. Stop the run. This Michigan team might not throw it 10 times in the entirety of this game. If we stop the run, the game is won. Simple as that. Now, those were G's keys. Now time for my score prediction. So I don't see this being a very high-scoring game, but I do think that our defense has a ton of success in this one. I am taking USC to cover. I actually have put money on that. And for the final score, I'm going to say USC 24, Michigan 10. I think we control this game, and I think we make a statement to the entire country. As always, guys, please let me know your score predictions down below in the comments. So fired up for this one. If you did happen to enjoy this game preview, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for all the support. You're all awesome, and as always, take care and fight on. Beat the Wolverines.